The Prime Minister Anthony Albanese is due in Alice Springs today after growing calls for him to intervene and curb rising youth crime rates in the town. His office is yet to confirm his itinerary, but Sky News revealed this morning that he will be in Alice today, meeting with community leaders. This is amid escalating crime and violence. We've heard from politicians at every level. Let's now hear from a business owner. Darren Clarke joins us live now. Dave, thanks so much for your time. You own a bakery there in Alice. Tell us what you live through every night and every day. What are the circumstances?
I run a Facebook page called Action for Alice 2020. I've highlighted the crime for the last 3 years. Today's the third anniversary of the page being launched. Now, I've been broken into 41 times. 41 times in that period. People behind me here, they're all the same. Probably not as high, maybe higher, some of them. This place is totally out of control. The violence on the streets is out of control. The domestic violence you see on the streets every night and through the day is just totally out of control. Something needs to be done. We've got gangs of youths running, they are actually running the CBD at the moment. And if they're not running the CBD, they're out in the suburbs hitting people's homes. They're getting into elderly people's homes. They're visiting them 3 or 4 times in the space of 1 or 2 weeks. And they're going in with sharp-edged weapons. They're going in with machetes, tomahawks, hunting knives. Something has to give, and something has to give immediately.
41 times, Dave, you've been broken into. I mean,
Darren, it's Darren, mate.
Oh, sorry, Darren. Sorry. 41 times? Over what period of time?
41 times.
And what was, I mean, are these
3
kids
years.
looking for food? Is this just senseless violence? Looking for cash? What is it?
Senseless violence, mostly. They've got in a couple of times and taken a tray of chocolate cake here, there, and a few cans of Coke. But mostly it's just stupid violence. Just senseless. But they're breaking into homes for alcohol. They're breaking into homes for car keys. They're breaking into businesses for car keys.
Right.
Then what they do is they get cars and they get them en masse. They might get 8 from one location, and then they go into town and they just joyride. And it's just totally out of control.
So, Darren, you also said that you see domestic violence in the daytime. Is this alcohol fueled? What can you tell us about what you see? It seems that it is just so blatant that it's not even trying to be hidden behind closed doors.
No, they won't. They don't hide it behind closed doors. A lot of it is alcohol fueled. But, when you've got people being hit with tyre levers in the main streets of Alice Springs, it's just out of control. It is out of control. I can't put it any other way. You just picture it, Laura. Can you just picture yourself getting hit around the head multiple times with a tyre lever? Just picture that. Picture that, people around Australia, because that's what's going on in Alice Springs. And it's about time someone fix this before someone dies. A woman had a head, they reported it last week, that a woman got stabbed in a domestic violence issue here in town. She actually had her head nearly cut off. They cut her from the one ear to the other ear, okay? They don't even report it properly. It is just abysmal what's going on here. Our government in the Northern Territory has completely failed the community of Alice Springs, the people that live here, and I'm not talking just about Caucasian locals. We're a community. We're full of Indigenous people, and we all get on. And they've totally failed us. The Territory Families Minister should be sacked. She's also the Police Minister. She should be sacked on the spot. She is incompetent, and she should go, and she should go today. Anthony Albanese, when he gets off the plane, the first thing he should say to Natasha Files, Kate Warden, go. She has to go, and she has to go today. She should be sacked, because if anyone else was in a position of management in a company or a government organisation and they had failed, and their stats keep going up in the wrong way, you have failed, you need to go. Give her a check and get rid of her today.
And Darren, you've got a lot of support there behind you from your community, absolutely. We reported on Sky News this morning that Anthony Albanese is going there today. I don't know what time he's going to arrive, but, you know, you've articulated the problems there better than anyone I have heard over the last couple of weeks. Let me talk to you about the solutions. What will you tell Anthony Albanese if you get a chance today?
He has to take control. Someone has to take control of the streets, okay? You have to get the violence off the streets. You have to stop this violence on the streets. Then you have to get these kids off the streets and get them into a safe place. We don't want them all locked behind bars, but get them out of town, somewhere in a facility where they are safe. Because these kids, they're not safe, for one. These people don't want to see these kids all locked up. They want them safe too. Okay, so let's get into a facility where they can get an education, they can get looked after, they've got some people around them that can love them and care for them, because they're not getting any love and care here in their homes. So it's got to stop. What's going on in the Northern Territory, in places like Cairns, Townsville, Broome, Fitzroy Crossing, it's got to stop. Tennant Creek is out of control. That's not getting any media at the moment. Go there next week. See what you get up there. It's worse here, and we've taken all their cops. Because we haven't got enough cops here. We still haven't got enough cops, but we've taken all Tennant Creek's cops. How do you think they're going up there? It's full of lies, deceit, cover-up. It's just spin from the Northern Territory government, and it's got to stop, because the people have seen through you now, and you know what? Australia's starting to see through the lot of you. So stand up, earn your money. Warden, you go first. Files, take her portfolio, take control of the Northern Territory, and let's go.
Darren, mate, you've got a lot of community support there, and it's really good to see. But take us back, you know, talk to us,
this
city
is nothing,
folk.
mate. This is nothing.
Talk to us. When did it get so bad, and how did it get so bad? How long has it been like this?
It's been bad for 3.5 years, 4 years. Right? We've had this page going for 3 years. But it's just escalated and escalated and escalated. We had a bloke that was killed down here at the lights not far from here by a car driven by stolen youths, and we thought, hey, this is it. Now they'll step in, they'll stop this. No, they rode out the media cycle, and they just went on. And then it goes. They come down from Darwin, they paint a nice little picture, they go away again, and it flares up again. And it's just a pattern that goes on and on and on. Wake up, Australia, because it's come to a community near you soon.
Darren, what about the alcohol bans? That lifted in July of last year in some of these Aboriginal camps. Do you think that has had anything to do with it?
Oh, it definitely has. Like the alcohol in this town is just totally out of control. There's smashed bottles in Coles car park, Woolies car parks. People are getting assaulted with bottles. The town camps. You'd love to get a camera and an ambulance here at the moment, because I'd hate to see what's going on out there.
So tell me as well, you said before that you're a community. There are Indigenous Australians that are crying out for help. They don't want to see this violence. But who is this, and it's hard to generalise here, where is most of the violence coming from? Because we talk about it as if it's an Indigenous problem. Is it?
It is. It is.
Yeah.
And that's not a racial comment. It is an Indigenous problem. So what we're getting here at the moment, people are coming in from remote communities, because when the Stronger Futures legislation got rolled back, the remote communities are still restricted. They're not drinking out there. They're not allowed to drink out there. That's what everyone's not mentioning. But what they did, what this Labor government did, the Attorney General here, Chancey Pake, what he did, they rolled this legislation back, and they've allowed the alcohol to flow in town camps. So here in the Northern Territory, you have to show a licence to show your address when you're buying takeaway alcohol. Okay? So these people from remote communities now, they're showing that, and they go, well, that's the wrong address. They go to town camps now. They say an address at a town camp, and they go and drink their alcohol there. It's got to stop. We've got 17 out of 18 town camps here, I think, and the alcohol is running free. Albanese's going to places where rivers are overflowing and having a look and shaking hands and that. Come up here, mate, because the rivers of Grog are overflowing. Get up here and have a crack, show some leadership, because it's not just people like me getting broken into. Indigenous people all through this community are getting hit. Their houses are getting broke. We've had 4 Indigenous businesses broken into in the last couple of days. Donna Archie, who is the head person here who runs Congress, the major health organisation in Central Australia. She's been broken into twice this week in her house. She's had enough. And Congress gets broken into all the time. She's had enough. She'll see out her tenure and then she will leave town. We are losing such great people in this town. There's 164 houses listed currently for sale in Alice Springs. It usually sits just below 100. If that's not telling you a story, people are going and they're going in their droves. And if they haven't gone yet, they're going.
Darren, what's happening there this morning? Is this a normal Tuesday morning for you, or have you and the rest of your community, or some members of your community, decided to meet there ahead of the Prime Minister's visit?
A lot of these people are my customers anyway, but I put a post up on my page to come down to show a bit of support and let Australia see what's going on. This is nothing. Like, if we had a day or two to actually do this, we packed this whole bloody street. We'd have this whole street packed. You've got no idea how tense and anxious people are in this town. And you know what? I'm trying to give the people of this town a voice. And you know what Kate Worden did last week, the police minister? She met with Alice Springs town councillors and she wanted support to close down my Facebook page. She's an absolute fraud and she's an absolute disgrace. She's trying to silence me because Kate Worden can't control the narrative anymore, can she? You can't control the narrative. Well, Kate, we've backed everything up. I've backed all the comments up. I've got USB sticks of all the photos, all the videos. You close me down, sweetheart, because we'll come back bigger and better on YouTube. We'll come back, we'll give it to the media, and we will go hard. You'll have 40 action for Alice's going, and see how you go then.
On what grounds is she trying to shut down your Facebook page, Darren?
Oh, she's using the excuse that I'm ruining tourism. Now you go on any caravan and camping site online in around the country. Alice Springs has been on there for ages. Okay, you go onto the Doubletree Hilton site here in Alice Springs. The comments there, the casino, they get smashed up all the time. Mercure Resort got smashed up. People in caravans getting broken into. Last Friday night, a car went through a campground here in a caravan park. A woman rang me in distress. She said, "I've got to get out of here. What do?" I said, "Get into another park and then get the hell out of here." She was going to stay at Tennant Creek the next day. I said, "Don't bother." I said, "Get out." Word of mouth is the most powerful thing. We don't have to say anything. People are talking anyway. But we're going to give you the evidence. Please back us up, media. Please back us up, Australia. Put the pressure on. We need a voice. These people need a voice. I'm trying to do that. And Kate Worden, the police minister, who is responsible for what's going on here, is trying to shut me down. And it's an absolute disgrace. And it's a disgrace what's going on in the Northern Territory, in Alice Springs, in Tennant Creek, in Katherine, the streets of Palmerston. It's an absolute disgrace. This government, they have lost control. They have no control.
Well, let's hope you see the Prime Minister face-to-face today when he arrives in Alice Springs, Darren. I can't thank you enough for your time on AM Agenda this morning. And I tell you what, you'll always have a platform here. And that bloke behind the camera right now, Matt Cunningham, he has covered these stories almost day in, day out. And I assure you, you have a voice, a very loud one. So thanks so much for your time.
No, thank you very much, Laura.
Darren Clarke there, and if you were under any illusion that things are okay in Alice Springs, he has just shattered that for us. He spoke passionately and in detail about what is happening in Alice Springs there, and that is something the Prime Minister is going to see firsthand today.